We got a couple of new tents on the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the 3-second tent from Reactive Outdoors. So we have the small and the large here. The small is supposed to be like a 1 to 2 person tent, if I'm remembering right. And the large is supposed to be like a 3 to 4 person tent. So I kind of want to just go over what they come with a little bit. Then we're going to try to set them up and see if they're really that fast and easy to set up. And then we'll kind of go over some features of the tents and things like that. From there, we'll go into some other videos down the road, trying them out, testing them actually outside. Right now it's cold and miserable, so that's why we're in the comfort of our home here. I also got the ground shields for these tents. They're both exactly the same. There's just a little bit, there's like directions on how to fold this one for the smaller tent or whatever. They're definitely heavier than, like, say the ground cloth for my REI Half Dome 2 Plus, but that's sort of a lighter tent anyways. So these are an optional purchase. They are sold separate from the tents. They're not absolutely required. To me, it's always a good idea to have a ground cloth just to protect the floor of your tent a little bit, a little more of a barrier between you and the ground and all that. You know, really in the long run, it's just going to help your tent last longer, especially depending on what kind of ground you're camping on. I'm just trying to get down to a single layer here so we can kind of feel, you know, like that feels like it's going to be pretty strong and durable. I don't know. I'm not really a ground cloth professional or anything, but I think it seems pretty decent. So we'll take a closer look at these when we actually are out setting up the tent outside, I guess. I don't think I'm going to use these in the house necessarily when we do this little test. So that's kind of slick. So like the bag doesn't actually, it's not like a stuff sack. It just kind of wraps around the tent. Oh, there we go. It is sort of a stuff sack, I guess. It's just open, which I still like the design of that. That's pretty clever. I think that's pretty smart. It should make packing this thing up quite a bit easier, hopefully. So it looks like we've got our tent here. It's basically fully assembled. All the poles and stuff are built into it. So rather than having to deal with putting all the poles together and all that, they're already here. This is like a little, it's not even really a rain fly from what I've seen. We'll have to take a closer look at the tent to see what it looks like. But from what I saw in other videos, I don't really think it's a rain fly. It's just kind of to cover up the poles at the top of the tent. It does have some instructions stitched into the carrying bag here. And then in this little bag, this is basically the whole point of all this. This is what I wanted to get to. You got some guy lines, and then you've got these tent stakes. And these are pretty average for most tents you buy. I think even that REI tent that I own, which is a more expensive, more professional tent or whatever, came with stakes similar to this. And these are not great, and I probably would never use these. I would go out and buy replacements for them. I'll put a picture over here so you know what I'm talking about, or overlay one over the top here so you have an idea what I'm talking about. That's more of the style of tent stakes I would buy. I would throw these in a drawer, and maybe you'll find a use for them somewhere, but not so good for actual camping use, I guess. So the tent comes with these little ties. So I guess we would pull these apart. I was gonna set up the small tent first, but I think we might have room to do the large one, possibly. So I guess we'll just start with the large one and see how that goes. Let's get things flipped around so you can see what we're doing over there. All right, so here's a little bit different angle. I'm gonna grab the tent. I'm gonna try to set it up here, see how it goes.
Okay, ready to set it up?
Yeah, let's set it up. I'll lay it on the ground. Get it all unfolded, so each corner needs to fold out. All right. And then from there, we're supposed to be able to just kind of pull up on this thing and then push down on the locking arms or whatever. And let's see. Let's see. All these need to lock in, I think. Yeah. Push. Oh, whatever. Is it kind of stretched out as far as it'll go? On each side?
Oh,
I just don't want to break it.
there we go.
Huh?
There we go.
The center thing slides down. Here we go. Maybe this is what you gotta do. There we go. Okay.
Wow.
So, let's move this way. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. That definitely wasn't 3 seconds, but it was the first time we've ever set this thing up. So, kind of gives you an idea. I think we'll have to get a look at it, but
Still got set up pretty fast though.
yeah. I probably should have started with the smaller tent just because it's going to give us more room, but I really wanted to get an idea of the size of this. And speaking of that, it makes me a little bit nervous because this is the large tent, and this is about the size, I think, of my REI Half Dome 2, which is a 2-person tent, and that's what we usually take on our bike trips and things like that. So looking inside this thing right now, I'm thinking like there's no way you're gonna fit 4 people in here. 3 people's gonna be tight. 2 people be good, right?
Yeah.
But let's talk about some features real quick that I know right off the bat, and then we'll kind of dig into it a little bit further. The nice thing is you've got the doors on each side, which is a feature that I love on a tent. I won't have a tent without that, just because if you need to get up in the middle of the night, you're not crawling over the other person. You have your own door, unless it's a 3-person tent and then the person in the middle obviously is climbing over somebody. For the most part, for what it is, having the 2 doors just makes your life way better. It's going to be more convenient, so that's a good thing. Setup is pretty much a breeze. I do like that. There is no screen up here. This actually is your rain fly. It's fully attached. That's what I was saying about this little square piece here. This is just meant to come over here. I think it attaches to these loops maybe. Oh, there's a ring there. Did you see that?
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. And this is just to cover up your poles, I guess, to make it look a little better. So it looks like on the sides of the tent, which we've got the doors facing on this way, so you can't see those right now. So on the sides of the tent, you've got mostly wall. It's going to be wall about halfway up the tent, and then under where this rain fly sits, it's screen. There's no loops or any way to necessarily pull this out. To get more of a breeze, it would be nice if you could use guy lines and pull this out a little bit. I do have some clips for tarps that I think might work for that, just so you could pull this away from the tent wall to get a little bit more of a breeze if you needed. Like there's no way to adjust these poles or the tension, but it feels like it should spread out more.
Yeah, doesn't it? See how this is all like crumpling up together?
Yeah. We'll have to see once we can actually get this outside and get it staked down, if we can pull it out more. To me, it feels like it's kind of pulling itself in, and there's no adjustments anywhere to get the bottoms pulled out further. I'm hoping that once we can stake it down, maybe we can pull it out and kind of get the thing spread out a little more to give yourself some more room. All right, so how does that feel compared to like our Half Dome 2 Plus? as far as length goes? Do you remember?
Probably like the same.
Probably. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm thinking this thing is about the same size as our Half Dome 2 Plus.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which means that small tent is probably going to be a solo. So inside the tent, from here down is going to be wall, and then the whole upper part is all mesh. Up top, it kind of triangles at the top, I guess. So that's mesh, and then along the sidewall over here.
Oh, and you can put like a light here.
Yep, it's got a clip for a lantern or a lamp. There's a pocket right here for a little bit of storage. That looks like the only one, right?
Yeah.
And then talking about zippers, see how they feel. Yeah,
Oh, I
a little
see.
more ventilation there. There you go. Okay, so the zippers, I mean, they feel all right. We'll just have to see how it goes. I hate it when zippers catch on the material. But when it's all zipped up, we've got these flies, or zipper covers, or flies, or whatever you want to call them, to cover up and help waterproof a little more, so that's nice. You don't really get a vestibule with these like you do with my REI tent and with the Alps mountaineering tents that I have reviewed on the channel. So you don't get the vestibule to like store different things, shoes and whatnot. I like to be able to keep outside of the tent. Just all you really have is this little bit of a rain cover here, and goes back probably 10-12 inches away from the tent, which is going to help. You're going to be able to keep your window open unless it's super windy to allow more breeze through if you need to. Some of this stuff seems kind of twisted weird, but you can just twist it back. And maybe if we go around and try to adjust things a little bit, we'll be able to get it spread out a little more. All right, so after looking at this one, I'm really curious to try setting up the small one and seeing how it compares. It's not going to be a side-by-side comparison because I don't have room to set them both up down here. Out of the two tents, this is the one I was hoping to be able to try for motorcycle camping because I think it's the only one that's actually small enough to pack onto the bike.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a little bit concerned about how small this one's going to be once we get it set up. But there's only one way to find out, so let's get after it. Good enough.
Wow, it's just like a scaled down version of the other one.
Yeah, they're identical except for the size. This is not a bad little tent.
Let's open it. Oh, it's already up.
I do like how fast it sets up. Both of them, obviously. I already got better at it, you see? This feels small, but I haven't set up the REI for a little while, so maybe this one is about the same size. I'm about 5'11", and I mean, yeah, I'm touching feet to head here against the wall. So this is a little short pretty short for my taste. If I was camping alone, I could do a kind of sideways thing here. Yeah, there's just no getting around that. She's a tiny one. Yeah, this is way smaller than the REI. This is pretty much the size of that small Lynx tent we have. Yeah, that's a tiny little one man, and this is what this is. There's no way you're camping with two people in here. I mean, you could, but you would be right next to each other. You'd have to really like each other. If I was going to take one of these on a camping trip, it would have to be the other one for me. The quality of the tents, I think, feels pretty good. Only time will tell. They're definitely heavier duty than like more of a backpacking tent or something like that needs to be lightweight. This is going to be more your, I feel like more your kind of general purpose camping tent as far as that goes. Yeah, setup is a breeze. I really like that aspect of it. If you are out camping and you need to get out of the rain quick and you need to get your camp set up, being able to just set up a tent that fast, throw all your gear in and get out of the rain, that's a good feature. There we go. They go in.
Huh.
Top go in. Corners fold in.
I got mine folded.
Oh, you kind of pull them out. Kind of pull it out and...
What?
Yeah, like this. Look. Pull apart, fold up. Perfect. I think if you...
Like fill with air or something?
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely fills up with air.
It's like taking down a mattress, kind of.
Yeah.
To get all the air out. Kind of wish they didn't pick strings that you have to like tie.
Yeah, I think I would probably replace the strings with those clippy strap things.
Same. They should have put like built into those clippy strap things, because then like it'd be even more compact. I don't know.
Yeah, you can buy those at like Walmart in the camping area, or at least I've gotten them there before. I shouldn't say that for a fact, but or on Amazon, and that would be an easy replacement for these. But you do get that here on the bag, which is good. And that's going to help you push some of the air out, I feel like. You'd have to work at this a little bit to get it back to the size that it came in, because it gets some air in it and that's going to take up extra space, so you need to take that into account. Alright, so that's our small kind of packed back up. Alright, we'll pop this one down quick. Well, hopefully quick. So this time, yep, perfect. This time when you go to fold it up, take the middle parts, and put those, fold those in first, and then the legs. Try to tuck this in, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see if we can get this packed down smaller.
I see.
We find the strings.
Oh no. Oh, never mind. Oh, these. Here they are.
I think that's a good idea, Gav. Those straps, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
This little tying situation is annoying.
I agree.
The thing that's weird to me about this system is I feel like the strap should be reversed, because as you're tightening it down,
Yeah.
it pulls this flap away from you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
So then you need to keep pulling it back to keep the strap in, or the flap in place.
It's just
so it's
like,
all, you know what I mean?
yeah, if they change, that would be like a quality of life changing. It's just kind of unnecessary to have it the way it is.
That might be a little nitpicky, but it would help keep everything looking nice. and contained, I feel like.
Yeah, it would make life easier.
It'd be hard pressed to fit this on the Harley. So I think as far as motorcycle camping,
Wait, can I see something?
that tent's too small. This one's too big to fit on the bike.
Wait a second. You can like do this.
Yeah.
Thought this is supposed.
They're not very heavy. Neither one of them are. Even the big one's not super heavy. So that's pretty nice. So as far as car camping, so far so good. We need to test in weather, see how they hold up in rain and storms and things like that. But yeah, show them a comparison with them packed up.
Put on your arms just like that. You also hold it like this.
We'll do some more videos on these and kind of develop our opinion over time. So far so good, depending on the scenario. As far as motorcycle camping, for me, it's a no-go. Because for me, the small tent is too small personally, and the large tent is too big to pack on my Harley. So I'm still gonna see if the small one will fit on a Harley, because, you know, obviously it'll fit on the luggage rack, that's not a problem. But I like to try to get them into a saddlebag or a tour pack. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna do some follow-up videos on these. We're gonna do some weather tests. I'm gonna set them up in the backyard. Hopefully it rains a lot. We wanna see if they can keep water out. That's probably the most important aspect in a tent for me. It's not gonna be a super hot weather tent, I don't feel like, because there's not enough airflow. I can just kind of tell by the design. But for like early spring camping and fall camping, that's not as important. You still want a lot of ventilation just to keep moisture and things out. But as far as keeping cool, that's not so important. You want to stay warmer, obviously. So maybe these tents would be better for those scenarios. We got nothing to lose or gain either way. So we just want to give you our honest opinion on these. I'm always trying to find new cool tents. I kind of pit up everything against my REI Half Dome 2 Plus because that's my favorite tent. I did a ton of research when I was looking for tents, and that one met everything that I wanted out of a tent. Any tent I look at so far, I've been putting against that REI Half Dome 2 Plus. And for me so far, the Alps Mountaineering Lynx 2 is kind of the tent that matches that one. It's kind of a budget option. They don't set up as fast as this though. They set up fast, but not like these. That's a cool feature on these. Stay tuned if you're interested. We're gonna do a lot more videos on these tents over the next month or two here. And so you'll be seeing something else coming up pretty quick, I'm sure. Anyway, have a good one. Stay safe out there as always, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
All right, let's go camping.
We should.